So today we're looking at remote work 101. What you need to know as someone who wants to start remote work in Web3 space. The basic things. So now, when we talk about Web3, Web3 is all encompassing. It's the third layer of, let's say, third iteration of the internet. Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me? Do you follow?
Hello, ma.
Can you hear me?
Hello? I can hear
Yes,
you,
sir.
ma.
All right. So what you need to know to build why you are building a career in Web3. And when we say Web3, we're talking about the third phase of the internet. Now, if you hear Web3, that means there's Web1, there's Web2, and there's Web3. I explained it in that introductory video that's on the website, the definition of Web3. But then in Web3, we have blockchain, crypto, decentralized applications, DeFi, DAOs, NFTs, and plenty other things like RWA, like you mentioned, the PIN, etc. And out of every industry in the world, Web3 is one of the most remote friendly industries. When we talk about remote, what does remote even mean? Remote means working from home, like not necessarily from home, but you don't have to appear in a physical office to come for work, right? Now, when we talk about remote work, it means that the expectation is different from when you have to dress up and appear for work. When you have to dress up and appear and go to an actual job. That's what we're going to look at also today. What are those things? How do you work remotely successfully? Now, Web3 is very remote friendly. Even myself, I've had to work with global teams. I've had to work with companies just working from home and different people from different parts of the world. And I've had to travel just because of work as well. So as of July, as of June, July of this year, majority of roles are remote first. Because if you want to have a global team, you have to be remote friendly. And remote became a thing, a serious thing with COVID. Sometimes it even helps them to work better because people can now work at the time when they are most effective and not just show up in the office for show up in the office. But the thing is also brought work-life imbalance because sometimes you see yourself working. Normally, when you go to a physical job, you can clock out. You can clock out by when work closes by 5, by 4, by 6. You can close and just go home and rest. So, but now with remote work now, if you can even work in the midnight, work at odd hours because there's no start and close time. So, do you follow?
Yes, ma. I'm with you, ma.
So now we're looking at um over 70-87% depend on their on hiring globally. And now we've seen even in some places outside the country, right? For example, now you can see a job that is tagged a remote, but they're looking for someone in the US because they're believing that maybe one day they would want you to come into the office and they don't want to start sponsoring visa for someone to travel all across the world to come for that company event. So that's why sometimes as someone from Africa, from Nigeria, if you're looking for a role, trying to get a role, you're going for a role that is globally remote. Do you get? Not just because some of these some some remote jobs will say United States. It's remote, but it's United States. It's remote, but it's in the UK. It's remote, but it's in Israel, Tel Aviv, and all of that. So these are things. So you go for the one that is globally remote and not just location because they will screen based on location. But when it's globally remote, it means that they want anybody from anywhere. The beautiful thing about remote opportunities is that anybody can be a part of it. I mean, I'm a typical example. I've been in the workspace, the Web3 workspace since 2019, and I've had to work across different teams. both the crazy ones, the good ones, the amazing ones, and have had different kind of experiences. So um, it gives you an opportunity for you to learn publicly and even and contribute, because Web3 is a space where it's not a place where you do things like you just do your stuff in your house, in your bedroom. Do you get? There must be a circle, a network that knows what you do or what you can do. Now, and this is a space that's really introduced what's building in public really means. This is a space that really introduced what building in public really means. Building in public, that means when you're learning, when you're working, when you're building anything, you are talking about it online on your handle, which is what I'm bringing you people to into, where you start engaging, you start contributing online physically, because that is one way that they're telling people, okay, this is how I think, this is how I do my stuff, right? And now the market has matured. Trust me, as of 2016, the whole entire Web3 markets, started with the whole crypto market started with Bitcoin in 2009. And of course, the workspace started growing, maturing, and all of that. And then now we are in 2026. So we're seeing that hype has really gone down. So we're now seeing where emphasis is being laid on um, practical building, security, compliance, community, and then we've seen where AI and Web3 too are intertwined. Now, to enter into the remote job space in Web3 space, it has two tracks: the tech track and non-tech track. And you people have already like chosen the track that you want to follow. Now, this that I'm sharing today is just foundational. It's something that you will have at the back of your mind when you are this, because it's very important. It's something that can determine how successful you're going to be in your work, in your role. Now, I love remote work personally because of that location independence it gives you. I've tried physical jobs twice, and I just packed up. Did it twice? It was just once, and I just packed up. Like, now this is not to say that people are doing physical job, like, kudos to people, but when you taste both sides, you would, especially for someone, maybe if you have like a family, or you have like some projects and all of that, you really value, and you know that maybe you work better at night, and during the day you can do other things and stuff, or you can join meetings during the day and use the night to do the work and all of that. So now there's a deceit that comes with working remotely, because people think it frees up your time. No, that's when you have to learn how to report properly. That's where you have to learn how to be accountable. That is where you have to learn how to uh, work with people. I think collaboration means we don't have to meet in real time. We don't have to talk in real time. That means when I'm done what I'm doing, I bring you up to speed to where I am, right? And then with AI proficiency these days, Web3, people that work in Web3 now, people that work in Web3, they depend on AI tools as well to help them do their work better, faster, like when it comes to productivity. So when you come into the remote space, you have to get acquainted with the Web3 lingo very fast. And there is no faster way than to use the Web3, use what's existing in Web3, and also interact with people. So I'm glad that you are already interacting with people. You have to consistently learn. You have to consistently be in, like, keep yourself updated. That's another beautiful thing about engaging online, right? You see what the conversation you see what the conversations are about. You see what the conversations are about, and you know where the industry is going to. So now, as a community manager, as someone who wants to build a career in community management, as someone who wants to build a career in writing, you have to start sharing or looking into resources in that area. So I'm going to share a few. For you now, there are we have a lot of resources on community management, thankfully, right? Because it's one area that people always look out for. I also have resources on writing as well, our previous book camps and all of that, all of that. So I'll be sharing those resources, so you can listen to them and practice. So now, in this is a space where audio does not help you. Simple knowledge is not enough. So in your case now, uh, as a community manager, there are specific, there are specific, um, there are specific things like you're supposed to know how to use Telegram as a community manager to manage and build communities, how to use Discord, manage and build communities, how to set up a bot in both Telegram and Discord as well. You know, things like that. And then when you're learning these things, you don't have to be sharing them on X to show that you know your onions, because people can easily tag you. People post opportunities all the time on X, and they can easily tag you if they find out that you're someone who shares useful information about what you're learning along the line. So now there's also a danger of you wondering, oh, will people accept what I just wrote? Does it make sense? You start second guessing yourself. It happens. Like it even happens to me as well. But you have to start from sharing first before you now begin to. So don't worry about whether people will like what you're posting. Because you come back and see 0 likes, you'll be like, people don't like. No, you have to focus first of all on putting your thoughts out there. Now, when you have something to share, putting your thoughts out there will force you to go back and learn about that skill. So I'll be sharing those links, those resources that we have on community management and writing. And you are going to I also give an assignment in that area as well. Now, so for community managers, right? One of the ways to gain experience really fast is to or for writers is to start join communities and start contributing immediately. You start helping newcomers. So you find a community. So you don't need, like I always tell people, you don't need a job to start gaining experience in the area that you want a job in for. Then you can join live sessions. There are always like live sessions on X and live sessions on Discord. When you join those live sessions, right, summarize it. Summarize those sessions. Let me show you. Let me go to X and show you what I mean. Are you still with me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm with you.
Okay. So sorry, I'm opening my X to my screen. So my X is loading, my X is coming. So now, projects, for example, now you're a committee manager that is interested in RWA, right? What you would do is you have to now find RWA projects. How do you find them? There are platforms that can help make it very easy for you. Both new projects, you can use root data. Root data, there's this platform that I follow on so they call it again. Alert. Let me X open. Where you can find newly created projects. So you can find new projects in RWA and live spaces. So on your phone, if you're using a mobile phone, you will see it to be by your side or at the center, however way your phone is arranged or set up. But in this scenario now, I'm using a laptop, so it's showing on the side. You see live on X. These are different spaces that are currently live. So you can join join the ones that are aligned to the areas that you are in or you're trying to build career in. That's the RWA writing. You participate in it, and then you do a summary of that session. When you do a summary of that session, you tag the project. That's a way to draw attention to yourself. You tag the project, it's like, oh, I was in the I was in space yesterday, and these are my key takeaways from the session. And I believe this will so now give your own take from the takeaway, you also give your own take. So that's one way to start getting yourself noticed. by other projects and by other people. And people start liking the fact that you do summaries. Now, how do you even summarize these things? You can take notes while listening to it. You can also use tools. There are tools um, that can help you download X spaces as audio, and then you can use transcribe, double scribe. You can use double scribe to transcribe it into words, and then you can do your summary. So there are quite a number of tools that can help you to summarize an X space. So you can download this space, X space. All you just have to do is just paste your link there, the link of the space, download as MP3, and uh, use TurboScribe to transcribe it, and then you can summarize. You can now use ChatGPT or Grok or Claude to get the key points out, and then you now reward it to have your own voice and tone. And tada, you have content to share. This is, for example, this is what I said, Velvet community is in space. So now, if I join this in now, I will join the conversation, right? I'll join the conversation and start listening. When it's over, I can download it if I want to, or I'm interested in that particular content. So that's one way. So can you see me? Do you follow?
Yes, ma, I'm with you, ma.
All right. So so that'll be like one of your tasks this week. So you're going to on your phone. I don't know if you use your phone more often or if you have a laptop, but if you're using your phone on the side, you open your X account. Also depending on the kind of phone you're using, if you're using an Android or an iPhone, but whichever one you're using. So on Android, it's by the side. You see spaces. So you'll see a list of spaces, right? So you can which I can share my screen, my mobile screen. So for example, do you use your phone often? Do you use your mobile phone often?
Yes, ma, I used to talk on.
So on your phone, you will see by the side tab, you see spaces. Under spaces, you will see lots of spaces going on. The search button, RWA, this thing, but you understand what I'm trying to say, ba? There are about 2 spaces that will be holding as that was scheduled to hold on Friday and also on Thursday. Then there's the one that's happening right now. About 52 people are in there. So let's say that I'm interested in what they are talking about or in the project. So I can simply click on it and listen in. If you don't have time to listen, you could use TurboScribe to transcribe it to um, written text, put as a document to ChatGPT, tell it to like do a summary for you, or extract important information or something like that is worthy of sharing, and then you can now post it on your account. As then post it, and now add your own take to that, and then post it on your account, and then you can tag the project. So this is one way. So the other things that you need to know as someone who is starting starting the remote work in Web3 is you have to be someone who likes community, really, for real. And then you have to start trying out. There are quite a number of platforms, apart from Super Team Earn, platforms where you can participate in bounties. There's Gripwork, there's Super Team Earn. Is there another one? I'm going to check for more and share. So so why do you participate in bounties? Why are you trying to join spaces? Spaces and summarize space and give your own take and view, because formal experience, your certificate experience does not work here in Web3 at all. What they care about is proof of work or proof of contribution. Oh, which community are you contributing in, right? The thing about contributing in communities is that you can easily be spotlighted, you can easily get recommended. So, community, and when you join a community, don't be silent, contribute there. I know it's very, very easy to be silent, to go silent, especially because life is so busy. Trust me, I know, I know how it can be. So, but then you have to do all of that. So now, what are the best practices that you need to adopt as someone who's going to work remotely in the crypto space, Web3 space? Like I said at the beginning, communication, right? You have to network with X. Now, I mentioned LinkedIn. I noticed that someone was having issues with his LinkedIn. That's fine. But when he listens to this video, this recording, he should know that he can work with just X. X is a space, is the social media for Web3 people. Of course, there are other ones like what's the name again? Farcaster. Farcaster is a Web3 based, alternative to X. But then we have people who live both on Farcaster and Web3. Even myself, I have an account there. So you have to learn how to collaboration. Collaboration is you have to use collaborative tools. Some teams stay on Slack, some teams are on Slack, some teams are on WhatsApp, some teams are on maybe what do they call those things? Um, some teams are on specific applications. Then you have to understand time zones as well, because sometimes you might have to work different time zones and you have to rearrange yourself, your productivity time to suit those time zones, or you can just simply get jobs that are aligned or are closer to your own time zone. Now, Nigeria is, because of where Nigeria is situated on the map, Nigeria is GMT plus one. That means GMT is in London. That is Greenwich Meridian time is in London. So um, Nigeria is plus 1 hour to London time. So there are places like minus, like right now that we're in evening in Nigeria, there are places that are in their morning time. There are places that are in their afternoon time, right? So you can decide if you're going to work remotely, um, if you can deal with time differences. Now, I remember, like for example, now when I traveled to Kenya, right? Kenya is, I think, is it 3 4 hours ahead of Nigeria. So no, 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 no. Yeah, I think it's two. Yeah, 2 3 hours ahead of Nigeria. So it's even when you're traveling, you can try to see the quick change. Or is it ahead a bit behind itself? I think it's um yes, because Nigeria will still be, so whichever way, there's a time difference between Kenya and Nigeria because it's in East Africa. So you wake up, you wake up in Kenya, Nigeria is still sleeping, or vice versa. So you have to document. You have to show up, do a lot of documentation, because nobody's seeing you in real life. You talk about remote work, we talk about async collaboration. Nobody's seeing you, so you have to give detailed explanation about how you did what you did, when you did what you did. So you have to learn how to start. So you have your own like Google documents, Notion, tools that can help you take notes. Anything you do, write out how you went about it, what was the result, and then you share. Security is non-negotiable in the Web3 space. Like you have to protect your money like crazy. Why did I say airdrops? Airdrops are one way for you to get exposed to products, applications in the Web3 space. So you can participate in airdrop just so you can see how the product functions, or you can start thinking about what are the strategies they can do or apply from the angle of writing or community management. So you must have unique passwords, 2FA, security. You definitely get paid in crypto. You get paid in stable coins sometimes, or the token of the project. And you have to, you don't use the same wallet or email address that you use for your money for anything that has to be public in Web3 space. So you must always protect your time. To working remotely, you have to protect your time. Trust me, as someone that has, as a mom, there's a lot of things that are working that's also working remotely. So many things that are dragging for your attention. So you have to find a way to protect your time. You can decide that 4 hours in a day is your most productive time, and you block it out. So you find a way to protect that time and use that time to do valuable work. You have to set clear boundaries, because trust me, the culture in this space, like I mentioned, it's very, very easy for you to not have a work-life balance. Sundays are for church for me. Even midweek, my midweek service is always after work time. So I'm like, this is this. So you set clear boundaries, right? Respectfully. Uh, you can protect your weekends. Even if you're going to give your weekends, to work. It might be like half day, but you protect your weekends, protect your time. If not, you will see yourself working around the clock, and it's not going to make a lot of difference. And the thing I've learned is that in as much as you give your best to where you're working, if anything happens to you, the company is going to move on. The Web3 space is more focused more on outcome than process. So results is better than being the preferred results instead of being online. And you have to continuously learn about new L2s, new lingo, new words, new applications, new platforms in the Web3 space. You have to know what they are as soon as they're coming out. You have to must have tried it, because someone that wants to write, get a writing job, that means you have to use lots of products and write about them, whichever angle that you want to go as a writer. And then continuous learning. This space evolves really, really fast. Really, really fast. Watch out for opportunities that come to your DM and say, "Oh, it's called what do you call that thing? Social engineering." I've had to make about more than two occasions. People came to my DM when they say want me to be on a podcast. If you cannot trace where that job came from, right? There has to be a way, something that really, really qualified you for that job. It can be a referral. It can so learn proactive communication, because it can be very easy for you to work alone and you're not connected to what's happening in the company that you're going to work for. Now, focus on one ecosystem first, because it's very easy to suffer from information overload in the Web3 space. Like, it's very, very, very easy to suffer from information overload in the Web3 space. So so you have picked a path, a career path, which is community management and writing, fine and good. You have also picked a sector. You choose RWA, fine and good. But you also need one ecosystem. Now, it doesn't mean you can't learn about other ecosystem, but it's easier for you to be discovered in an ecosystem when you give that ecosystem your time, your attention, and your contribution. So, um, these are the key things that you need to bear in mind as someone who is trying to build a career in Web3 space. So this is Remote Work 101, the Web3 blockchain career version. Any questions?
Okay, ma. Thank you so much, ma.
You're welcome.
Definitely. Um, my question is that I would like to know concerning the space.
Okay.
You know, as in with regards to the space,
All right.
so that if you join a space, maybe what they are discussing there, the language, as in the you as a new extra, maybe you may not be able to understand what they are discussing there. It's not that maybe they are saying what you don't understand. They are talking about something that is beyond your level.
So, okay. Okay. So, like, I wish I could share my screen on my phone to show you. Yeah, it's a choice, right? You can always join and give it like 5 minutes and see whether it's your thing and leave. Nobody's going to hold you if you leave, right?
Okay.
You can also choose based on your topic area. Like I said, I went to that space area on my phone and I typed in the search button, I typed RWA, and it showed me scheduled RWA spaces and the one that's already happening. So anyone that's happening, you can join in and just listen in for a few minutes and see if it's valuable to you. If it's not valuable, you leave. There's no hard thing about it. About it. You can so it's your that one is easy. You already have a topic area. You have an area that you want to focus on RWA. So that's one criteria to help you select. When you type RWA in the search button and just it brings out everything, the ones that concern RWA, and you now choose, you listen and say, oh, is it worth my time? Is it worth my this thing? And then you select from them and then you move on. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Yes. So you can do that. So that will be your assignment for um this thing. So I'm sorry I didn't I wasn't able to make it last Friday. My son was not feeling very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was I had to my
I
whole
really
day. Yeah, he's better than Friday. He's really, really better than Friday.
thank God.
So yeah, thank you. Um so do this and maybe I'll be checking in the group. I'll just check
Okay.
it right now. My mind is down. I'll just checking in the group to know how it's going. And then I'm going to bring those resources I mentioned. So which
Okay.
start trying out.
Okay.
Yes, start learning about community management, and then start some of those bounty platforms. So, like I said, you have to apply like something. This is not a place where you just learn, right? If you just learn, it's not going to yield results. You have to really be very practical. Like you have to implement it for it to actually work for you. So don't hesitate to drop a question in the group anytime. I'm going to answer Samuel, so he shouldn't bother himself about LinkedIn if it's not working for now. You can just focus on X. X after all, X is LinkedIn is an easy place, but then X is that place for three people. All right,
All right, man. Thank you so much, man.
you're welcome. Um, so maybe on that note, so hopefully I'm going to be pushing this. I've not had time. I've been trying to like finish my MBA, but I'm going to make more time to push for this. Anyways, that's just in case you know someone who wants to learn any of the things that we're sharing.
Okay.
You always prepare.
Okay.
All right, sir. So, all right, sir.
Good night, man.
This is short.